Here's the deal. Y'all always get mad when we tell the truth. The reality is that I have a bill that would make sure that as ICE is going out and going into these communities, if you truly believe that ICE was doing what they are supposed to be doing, then they wouldn't be hiding their faces. And so let's see how many Republicans want to stand with Democrats as we say, don't hide your faces. The rest of law enforcement agents don't have to hide their faces. You know why? Because they're not going in and busting people's windows and taking people down to the ground.
Yes, ghetto Democrats should be ashamed. I believe they have seen what happened few hours ago. It is insane to see these people advocate for this.
I just want to say this to Trump's defenders. You don't have to bend over backwards trying to make Trump's authoritarian power grabs seem like the rule of law. He does not give a f anymore. He's saying it straight up. Trump is saying, the people like dictators. Trump is saying, I hate my opponents and I want them punished. And Trump is saying, I'll use all the levers of government at my disposal to accomplish that goal. So you can get on board with that and say, I'm with that.
Every single ICE agent who's engaged in this aggressive overreach, no matter what it takes, no matter how long it takes, will of course be identified. This is not the 1930s.
Secret police who are masked, who are intimidating, who are scaring people. These Gestapo-like tactics.
This is Gestapo-like behavior.
The old films of the Gestapo grabbing people off the streets of Poland. It does look like a Gestapo operation.
You posted on social media that, quote, ICE is acting like a terror force.
ICE agents, they are coming and kidnapping and disappearing people on the streets of the United States.
But this terror campaign of having masked people rolling up in vans, but we also have to talk about the agents themselves that are carrying this out. If you have any decency, quit now. Because just doing what you were told has been the justification for some of the worst horrors and crimes against humanity.
Masked agents of the state in unmarked vehicles are terrorizing communities. They are disappearing people.
Meanwhile,
those ICE agents not shot or hurt. We do not know, however, the motive of the shooting. That still remains an open question and will be under investigation.
Yes, few weeks ago, Gavin Newsom put up a law that ICE agents in California will be en masse. They are not permitted to move with a mask so as to identify them. The kind of attacks these people are receiving. Now, look at what just happened. Gavin Newsom came out to deny it. For a very long time, I see him calling ICE Trump personal armies. You will see the hate Democrat develop toward ICE is now leading into situation like what we just witnessed in Texas. It is high time people realize what these people are doing. It is evil.
Nicole Parker, former FBI special agent and Fox News contributor. I mean, as you hear Chad Wolf lay that out, I mean, that is specific. What else should we know at this point? What are we looking at?
I do think that that's absolutely critical to the investigation is the anti-ICE sentiments written on the shell casings, and we are seeing a pattern of that. We saw, writings on shell casings with Mangione, with the tragedy. Things of this nature, it's becoming common. People are getting inspired by others, and I appreciate Senator Ted Cruz, very, very strong, saying this will not be tolerated. This has got to stop. Some things that I picked up on, Harris, as a former FBI agent. The FBI will take lead of this investigation because it was an attack on a federal facility and an attack potentially on federal officers, these ICE officers. Having done prisoner transport, obviously a little bit different. I know that when I've done prisoner transport to the federal detention center and in Miami, for example, we pull in our vehicle with the subject in the back of the car. We pull into the sally port and there's literally a gate that comes down before we get out of our vehicle. So it looks like maybe the ICE facility in Dallas has a different sort of protocol there that this individual is able to haphazardly fire to a van. So again, their target, they don't even seem to have had eyes on the target. They were just firing at whoever was in the van. And earlier you had on Trey Gowdy, who asked a very good question about motive. But I think as a result of the press conference, it is probably a target on the ICE officers and not on the individuals that were being processed.
Here's something new that is just coming in. My team is telling me this now. To make your point, Nicole, it was an unmarked, hard-sided van. So the fact that there were detainees in it, probably not known, or heavily perhaps not known by the person who was firing, because it was difficult to see who would have been in that van. Finish your point. I just wanted to get that in there.
You are exactly right, Harris. That is a very, very important point to the investigation. Again, a lot of times these are, like you said, an unmarked van. This is something that when they're doing these ERO operations, I know that the FBI has helped with many of them. It's kind of an all hands on deck with Trump's platform and getting rid of those that are not here legally. Most of the time the hits are earlier in the morning. And so this person, again, without knowing, may know the pattern and may have been keeping an eye on this ICE facility and knowing, okay, they typically do these processings early in the morning. So, they'll do a full investigation to this individual when they were typically seen around the facility, if they were seen around doing surveillance leading up to this tragedy. But it will be an FBI investigation. I do know that the FBI's evidence response team from the Dallas field office is on the ground at the facility.
Yes, for a very long time, Democrats can't even stop doing this. Governor Newsom is calling ICE Trump personal army. The reactions Democrats put toward this is insane. When you take a look at what just happened, the suspect in the mansion at the Dallas ICE facility has been identified as 29-year-old Joshua. The attack left one person and 2 others injured. Confirmed that John voted in 2020 Democratic primary in Texas. This just adds to the growing list of political vows coming from the left. I'm someone that I don't find it okay reporting this kind of videos. For about 2 weeks now, we have been talking about these similar things. Instead to talk about important things, but this has taken up space. I don't know why people do this often. This guy took his life away after committing these crimes, and Democrat came out blaming people here and there.
Inspired? Are you worried about copycats?
Yes. I don't know if the rooftop trend is going to be a thing. I mean, it could just be coincidental that the best vantage point just happened to be elevated positions in this case. But people emulating this kind of attack is certainly a concern. The irony with the writing, the first time we really saw that was Brenton Tarrant in the Christchurch Mosque in New Zealand, and he was a fierce, white supremacist and neo-Nazi, and wrote all over his weapon and his rounds very hateful information. So to see this coming from, potentially the other side of the political spectrum is a little strange because it is not something, if you are trying to, carry out some kind of message countering, more extreme right-wing stuff. I don't know why you would, use a tactic that a famous white supremacist who has been revered and copycatted over the years by other white supremacists, why you would do that. But it does appear that people are moving in that direction because they want people to know what they're doing and why they're doing it.
Yes, this is now reaching a different level. I don't know when this will stop. For a very long time, Democrat calling ICE names, this Trump personal army, things like that. Now, watching MSNBC suggests that leftist terrorists who are writing political messages on Bull are actually being influenced by right-wingers. A fierce white and a neo-Nazi wrote all over his way at his rounds. I don't want to actually pronounce some words here because of this platform. What I saw is extremely concerning. I don't know if people actually realize what these people are provoking every single day is coming to reality. It is high time they stop.
Time. And so it is very difficult. It has been a very decisive environment. Those Pokemon to catch them all. and continuing to dehumanize non-citizens.
I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say that if you were targeting ICE, you wouldn't write anti-ICE in pen or marker on the bullet knees at an ICE facility in Texas. I think that the idea that they think that people are going to buy this, that people are going to buy that it said anti-ICE.
All the same people.
But I don't know if you saw this.
Got some 1/3.
Thank you guys for always being the sharing on my videos. God bless you abundantly.
With all due respect to former President Obama,
is blatant censorship.
Because he says he has a team of fact checkers.
Have the FCC.
I want them to stop fooling around with my right to say what I feel.
Americans, it's a part of who we are.
Because that is really something that didn't happen before.
Did anybody else watch The View? Because I think there's some nothing.
I'm going to say one.
Look, there are certain rules of free speech that we must all abide by. But in case anyone needs a refresher, we're going to go over the rules again.
He does not have a right to have a television show where he lies his ass off to the American people.
Well, there are repercussions to spreading lies.
Somebody to get up there, not give a speech about.
And